Am I the butthole for telling someone to F off? At my fiancé's work there is an attractive guy. My fiancée and her friend were talking about him, and apparently the friend tried to convince my fiancée to cheat. She refused and told me. I visited her at work recently, and this friend began telling me that we should have an open relationship and I'm holding my fiancé back. I mostly laughed it off at first and told her I wasn't comfortable with that kind of relationship. She kept pushing, so I told her, "Can you F off? I barely even know your name, lady. Your opinion does not matter to me." She got mad and called me a butthole. My fiancé was mad I treated her friend that way because she was joking. Am I the butthole for getting mad? Edit. One common question is, why doesn't the friend get with him? She did. From what I have been told, she is a very promiscuous girl. Also, I know my fiancé has issues with people pleasing and abandonment. She's in therapy. I'm going to bring up a lot of this to her tomorrow and tell her that I am not comfortable with her friend. Edit. I just want to say that my fiancé is not cheating on me. I trust her more than anyone. I will take some of this advice and deal with it from there. Maybe she was curious about open relationships, but that's a different discussion. NTA. There is a time and a place to tell someone to F off, and this is clearly a great example of where it's the right response. Where you need to fix things with your fiancé is to make it clear that you don't intend to pick her friends, but that you don't have to like them, either, and to make sure this lady gives you a wide berth moving forward. If your fiancé can't support you on this, there are other issues in your relationship that need some work. Also, I would discuss with the fiancé how people that egg her to cheat are definitely not friends. It's kind of crafty that this isn't obvious to Op's fiancé, innit? It's these kinds of "am I the butthole" posts that make me genuinely wonder if this is made up or if people are just that oblivious and devoid of common sense. And then you watch an episode of Judge Judy and you realize this is totally possible. I always think that if people had a little more self-esteem, this sub wouldn't have that many posts. The same goes to any relationship advice sub. Absolutely. If people had a bit more self-esteem and confidence, they would just learn to tell people to my ob and go away. Lady, or dude. I couldn't care less about your opinion and have zero chance of following it, so go away and keep your opinion to yourself, silly, and nobody here gives a F. But bye. Self-esteem? I think you mean common sense. Holy crap, my thoughts exactly. Well, I have to say, some people may have the self-esteem, but maybe they want the assurance and option from someone that can't be biased on the situation. 73 million people voted for a really crafty snake oil salesman a few weeks ago. Never underestimate people's stupidity. In defense of humanity, I guess, I'm pretty confident that a very large percentage of that 73 mil are just one-issue voters who will always vote for whoever is on their side on that issue because it's the only thing they care about. Right. Fox News tells me the Democrats are going to take away my gun, so I should vote for the guy who grossly mishandled the pandemic, resulting in the deaths of 2,000 Americans a day. They are not, for anyone reading this who believes this and literally everything else. Yeah. Taking our guns and killing our babies. I watch both news that either is very liberal or very conservative, and the amount of BS that both sides spew is ridiculous. I am neither a Republican nor a Democrat. I fall in the middle because there are some things that the Republicans have passed that I like, and there are many things that the Democrats have passed that I like. For the record, I believe that we are all human beings and deserve the same treatment no matter what color we are or how much money we have. Healthcare is a right for all. Women have the right to choose. Gay, lesbian, transgender, or any other gender identity have the same rights as anyone who is heterosexual and cis. School choice, freedom of religion, and a balanced budget. It does make me laugh when conservative news is saying that the only reason we should have voted for the current president is because the now president-elect is going to take away our guns. I am a gun owner and I don't think that I will never be able to own my gun. I have two, and I follow my state and federal laws regarding them to keep both myself and others safe. Thanks for your comment. I appreciate your viewpoint and the time you took to write it out. I do want to chat about one thing you said though, if you don't mind. News that either is very liberal or very conservative and the amount of BS that both sides spew is ridiculous. Respectfully, I disagree with this slightly. Here's my 2 cents as someone who also watches a variety of networks. Very liberal media only seems very liberal because Republicans have dragged the discourse so far to the right. Our mainstream liberal media like MSNBC and CNN would be considered conservative in most European countries. There is no mainstream liberal news outlet giving constant voice to Bernie or Ox actually very liberal policies, the way Fox entertains the entire Republican spectrum. On the BS piece, while both sides are heavily biased, one side frequently, A, headlines entertainment news that acts as a mouthpiece for completely false information, not just bias, and B, acts as a cohesive apparatus to keep Republicans elected. As liberally biased as MSNBC is, it does not defend Democrats to death. Al Franken retired over a picture from years ago, and outlets like MSNBC, rightfully, were against him. Lindsey Graham just allegedly tried to interfere in Georgia's election and Fox News was out downplaying it. TBF, from an outsider who experienced Gough Whitlam, Bernie and Ock are not hugely liberal. Agreed on all counts, save one minor one, and it may just be semantics. Politics in the US have gotten dragged so far right since the Reagan era that Bernie and Ock are really not very liberal on an objective political spectrum, certainly left of center, but not extremely so. Edit, should have read the comments below. ADHD for the win, I guess? Then why aren't you just a Democrat? Not being shady. Everything you mention is clearly not Republican agenda. Why should we have labels? Not everything that the Republicans have done is bad and everything that the Democrats have done is good. I want to vote on issues that I feel are important and make the decision based on what I feel would benefit in the long run. You're a moderate? But for real, more people need to realize there is good and bad policy on both sides. I can't pick a side because of that and the reasons you list as well. Exactly. Unfortunately, US politics has gone crazy. Unless someone is an outright hater of someone based on their skin color, gender, sexuality, economic status, and a few other things, then I am still going to talk to that person. I don't want to be around people who only think and like the same things I do. I want to be around a variety of people. If everyone had the same opinion about everything in life, I shudder at the thought of what life would be like. I'm genuinely surprised you weren't downvoted to oblivion, comment removed and called a centrist, but then again, the night is early lol. I have already been downvoted quite a bit. But oh well. I gave my opinion, and am respecting others' opinions also. Everyone is entitled to feel what they feel. Other than outright hate towards others, I enjoy reading or talking to others who have a different opinion than I do. If my comment gets removed, then it does. But I am not going to discuss or argue any political point with anyone. I have stayed vague for a reason. I appreciate the time it took you to write that out, and I respect your stance, but this was neither the time nor the place to pull both sides. Let us all be friends. For people like me, who regularly fight for our right to exist, the hurt is too raw. I almost kind of wondering if it was the fiancé's idea for an open relationship, and she's having her friend drop the hints about it rather than coming out to say it herself. Almost makes more sense than her friend being that level of nosy. Original plan for later that evening, haha. That thing that friend was saying was funny, wasn't it? Can you imagine if we actually had an open relationship? Obviously I would never do that though. Haha. Unless this person speaks the truth. There is no way in hell the friend is just that randomly possessed about hooking her friend up without some major conversations being had. The friend knows she doesn't have a shot with the hot guy in the office, but the fiancé's promised to hook her up with original post if she helps them start an open relationship. What tangled webs these mortals weave. That's what I'm wondering, as a similar situation happened to friend last year. The one pushing the open relationship, the GF, was cheating on my friend and wanted to make it okay. To me it sounds like the girlfriend and the work friend want to have a three-way with the hot guy at work, or maybe even up. I don't know if this is fake or if original post isn't catching on, but there's more to it behind the scenes if it's not fake. People are oblivious and devoid of common sense. If this is made up or if people are just that oblivious and devoid of common sense. $10 says Ops fiancé loved the idea that her friend thinks that she's capable of attracting the office hot guy. Original post hears you should cheat on Op. She hears babe you're so desirable that you should keep your options open. /user Thetone Buchner needs to decide if he's okay with such a fiancé. There's a good chance that someone with such a thought process will cheat at some point in the future. Reddit link. I often wonder the same thing. However, I know a lot of idiots in real life, so even some of the craziest posts seem completely possible. I nearly always want to believe those are staged. Hope beyond hope that there's a team of writers somewhere auditioning actors. It's possible, right? I think I've read that they are real cases and real people, but that the actual case was already tried and they're just recreating it and hamming up the drama for the show. So, kind of. Nah, plenty of people just make up cases and go with their friend and split the payout. The ones that are real people/situations, no, they haven't been tried already. No, people are just really that devoid of any sense, trust. Common sense is not common anymore. I used to watch Judge Judy all the time. She's my favorite. Nah, I've met plenty of this kind of skanky person before. My ex-boyfriend continually surrounded himself with trashy lowlifes like this, which part of why he's my ex-boyfriend. Make me genuinely wonder if this is made up or if people are just that oblivious and devoid of common sense. Never underestimate how oblivious and devoid of common sense the average person can be. Makes me wonder if she was trying to test the waters and see what original post thinks of an open relationship by having her friend push it. I just made a similar comment. It reminds me too much of one of my friends who tried to slyly convince her boyfriend into an open relationship. She tried to make arguments about how it's good for both of them and she just doesn't want them to get bored. Meanwhile, she just wanted to bang my hot friend lol. She tried to turn it into some feminist issue to justify it to me, and I was like, I know your motivations already. You're just trying to justify it to yourself, it seems. Nothing wrong with an open relationship in my opinion, but you got to be upfront about it, and if they aren't willing to do it, then you guys are incompatible. Just break up and move along. Yep. I had a friend that I used to go to bars with, and a few times if a dude tried hitting on me, she'd try egging me on to hook up with him. I was engaged at the time, married now. I basically was like, wow, it's really trashy and crafty of you to say that, especially since my husband is an awesome guy and more than a few times he drove us home after nights of drinking / would stop and get food for us after our nights out, so he'd be buying her food and she'd be jokingly encouraging me to cheat. She acted like that was a crazy thing for me to say, so we stopped hanging out because I don't have time for that crap. Nobody is going to disrespect my husband like that. Pro tip, if you want a good relationship, don't be friends with people who disrespect your relationship. I hope my future partner is as awesome as you. Well, my husband is awesome. He doesn't deserve for someone to be crafty like that, especially when he'd only ever been nice to her. And apparently she's cool with cheating, and that's not someone I want to hang out with. You are the company you keep. She had issues. Genuinely warms and makes my day to know that mindset is still alive. Keep being the absolutely awesome wife you are and loving the awesome husband that you've got. Speaks for itself how amazing your relationship must be. Here's to many happy years for you. Something similar happened to a friend of mine. Her friend was trying to push her into having an open relationship with her man, but while dinking one night she admitted to me she just wanted a chance with my friend's man since she thought she was better for him. This would not shock me. She always tried to flirt with my husband. Feebly, though. Pretty sure she encouraged her friend to do so. Yup, fiancé isn't innocent here. Definitely. Makes me think the friend and fiancé have conversations about banging the hot coworker. Or she already has. I tend to criticize this sub for jumping to conclusions, so I hope I'm not being hypocritical here, but my mind jumped to the idea that fiancé brought up that the friend was encouraging her to see ops reaction. NTA, your fiancé is severely naive if she thinks that person is a friend. A friend doesn't try to get you to cheat and definitely doesn't try to ruin a relationship with their friend's fiancé. Yeah, but she has a lot of insecurities when it comes to her friends. She had a huge friend group all of school, and then all of them stopped texting her back but kept hanging out without her. So she takes any friend she can get, which leads to situations like this. Dude. She cares more about a stranger's feelings on how she should cheat than you. Get real. NTA. Are you sure your girlfriend isn't the one that wants an open relationship but is too scared to bring it up? So her friend helped her bring it up. It would make sense why the friend is so pushy and why your girlfriend got mad at you. It doesn't matter. It's not her friend's place, who he barely knows, to tell him he should have an open relationship. If his wife wants one, she can talk to her husband about it because these two are the only people who are entitled to have that discussion. Good point. I was thinking more of the friend wanted to F him. So if it's open, she would be able to pursue. That's what I thought. Yes, this was my first vibe. Ask her honest opinion about open relationships and kids and everything else before you get married. If she's insecure and needy about relationships, friends or otherwise, this is passive-aggressive. I would never mention it to my partner because it should not register as notable in the first place. I wouldn't lie or keep it from him, but we don't mention every damn thing that happens every day anyway. The world is full of buttholes and you protect your relationship, not the people who are sketchy and invite drama. In my younger years, a person I dated mentioned other people's opinions about me while avoiding stating their own opinion. It was weak and awful and ended the relationship almost immediately. I'd definitely tell my boyfriend if someone was saying crap like that to me. He'd probably ask if I'm going to block them, to be honest. But like he tells me about his conversion with his classmate about Wi-Fi speeds. People aren't doing stuff, there's nothing to talk about anymore. This is exactly what I was thinking. Op's fiancé is testing the waters and asked her friend to bring this up. It's not the fiancé testing waters, as in similar situations it was the friend who was single wanted to tank the relationship by getting the other friend to cheat so they could go out trolling for hookups. I would say NTA, the coworker was way out of line. You said it once, twice, third time gets an F off. Also, your fiancé would really benefit from therapy to deal with insecurities. Insecurities and feelings of self-worth are among the top reasons why people are unfaithful. She may not, ever, FYI. But it puts her in a higher risk category. Also, for her own benefit, she should get to the root of it with someone objective. And it'll help her be happier and surround herself with a better class of person. You need to talk to her and explain more clearly that this person is not her friend but a manipulator who is more than likely insecure and jealous of your relationship. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.